Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a hard look at HSBC, one of the biggest banks on the planet. And we're asking a pretty tough question based on its incredible history.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a killer question. This was once asked directly to US regulators about HSBC. And honestly, it cuts right to the heart of this entire story. This idea that a bank could become completely untouchable.
So, $2 billion. In 2012, this was the price tag, the record-shattering fine that HSBC was forced to pay for its part in a gigantic money laundering scandal. At the time, it was the biggest fine a bank had ever seen. But here's the crazy part. For a bank the size of HSBC, $2 billion bucks, it's basically a rounding error. As one person put it, it was just a parking ticket. So how on earth did we get here? How did a global bank get so tangled up in crime that a $2 billion fine actually felt like getting off easy? Well, it all really came to a head back in 2012. That's when the U.S. Department of Justice came out with an accusation against HSBC that was, well, it was almost hard to believe. And this wasn't about some complicated financial scheme, it was about cold, hard cash. And the charge was absolutely damning. For the better part of a decade, the bank had allegedly turned itself into the go-to financial institution for some of the most violent and dangerous criminal groups in the world, washing their blood money and pumping it into the global system. And here's the thing that'll really get you. This wasn't some kind of accident or a few bad apples. No. Investigators literally had recordings of cartel leaders saying point blank that HSBC was their bank of choice. It was just a known fact in the criminal underworld. But to really get how a bank's culture could even allow this to happen, you've got to go way, way back, all the way to the beginning. Because, you see, laundering cartel money in the 21st century, that wasn't the first time the bank had made a fortune from a huge, destructive, and illegal trade. Yeah, HSBC, that stands for the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation, was literally born from the profits of the Opium Wars. After Britain used its military might to force China to buy its opium, a whole new financial system popped up in Hong Kong, with HSBC right at the very center of it all. So, picture this. Before opium, Britain was bleeding money to China to buy things like tea and silk. But after opium, the tables completely turned. All of a sudden, British traders were swimming in cash. And guess which bank was created specifically to handle all that new wealth? Yep, HSCB. So let's be super clear about this. The guys who started the bank, they were opium traffickers. It's not some hidden footnote in their history, it's the foundation. From day one, profiting from let's just say, the gray areas of global trade was baked right into the bank's DNA. Okay, so let's fast forward back to our time. Because that cartel money, well, it turns out that was just one chapter in a much, much bigger book of scandals that stretches across the entire globe. I mean, when investigators looked into how this all worked, it was just so blatant, so brazen. We're not talking about complex computer algorithms here. We are talking about cartel members literally walking into bank branches with boxes of cash, boxes custom designed to fit through the teller's window, stuffed with millions. And employees just took it, day in and day out. Then, a few years go by and bam, the Swiss leaks happen. A whistleblower revealed a whole other side of the business. The bank's Swiss office was basically offering a secret menu of services to over 100,000 rich clients, think dictators, arms dealers, you name it, to help them hide their money. They even used code words like calling an account balance the price of caviar.
And just in case anyone had any doubts left, the Panama Papers came along and basically put the final nail in the coffin. This massive leak of documents confirmed that HSBC was a major player in the shadowy world of offshore finance, helping create thousands of shell companies, a lot of them for powerful people in China.
So this brings us to the big question, right? Why? After all of this, how does this bank not only survive but actually thrive? This, right here, is the billion-dollar question. How do they get away with it? The answer, in 2 words, political power. Just when it looked like U.S. prosecutors might actually drop the hammer and take away HSBC's license to operate in America, which would be a death sentence, the British government itself stepped in. The UK's finance minister actually wrote a letter saying that prosecuting the bank was just too big a risk for the global economy. And this just lays bare the 2-tiered system of justice we hear so much about. It's wild, right? Launder almost $1 billion for the very cartels whose drugs put regular people in jail, And the worst thing that happens is your company pays a fine. Not a single top executive went to prison. This whole scandal didn't just cost the bank money. It gave us a brand new and, frankly, pretty terrifying phrase. We all knew about too big to fail. Well, the HSBC case gave us too big to jail. It's this idea that once a company gets big enough, it can operate beyond the reach of the law itself. So, after surviving decades of scandal in the West, what does HSBC do? It executes this massive strategic pivot. It's going back to its roots and embracing a whole new center of global power. So, even though its headquarters are technically in London, don't be fooled. The bank's heart, its soul, and most importantly, its profits are now all about Asia. It's making itself absolutely essential to China's economic goals for the world. And its new role is crystal clear. It's helping to make China's currency a global player against the dollar. It's acting as the main pipeline for Chinese money flowing into Western markets. It's financing huge infrastructure projects all over the world. It's not just a bank anymore. It's a key financial partner to the Chinese state. Which leaves us with this huge, lingering question. After a history of profiting from opium, laundering cartel cash, and facing down the most powerful governments in the world, the bank has now attached itself to a new global power. So when banks become as powerful as countries, who on earth is left to hold them accountable? Hey, if you got something out of this deep dive, do us a huge favor. Hit that like button, share it so more people can see it, and of course, subscribe for more explainers like this every week. Thanks for watching!